Hello and welcome to Untwisted Threads. This is Woolfolk Fleck. This 85% Ovis 21 Ultimate Merino 15% Donegal tweed yarn features 11 colors inspired by the Pacific Northwest. The colorway that we chose is F3. This 50-gram skein with 145 meters or 160 yards works up as a sport weight yarn. The suggested gauge on a US 3 to 5 or 3 1/4 and 3 3/4 millimeter needles is 22 to 26 stitches and 32 to 36 rows per 4 inches or 10 centimeters. For our swatch, I will be using a 4.5 millimeter needle size. In today's video, we're going to review and score Woolfolk Fleck using our 4 categories, which are traction, softness, durability, and cost, to help you decide if this is the best yarn for you and your next project. Would you like to feel a sample of our top picks out of over 100 yarns that we've reviewed on this channel? Click the link below to get your first month's free specialty yarn card, knitting patterns, and more. Let's get started. For traction, we give it a score of 3.5 out of 5. Something common I've noticed about looser spun yarns is that they have the potential to split or get caught on my needles. That was the case in my experience while working with this yarn a couple of times during my short amount of time working with it. On the needles, I did notice some drag, maybe spinning oil perhaps. Something I do want to mention is that the Donegal tweed flecks, while beautiful, are very loosely attached and can easily be a baby swallowing hazard, something I never would have thought about before. They were pretty spaced out and I didn't really notice them much while knitting, only when inspecting the yarn. As far as stitch definition goes, I can't recall coming across many yarns like this one. The stitches were pretty wavy or not the cleanest, but for the right project, I think it could be nice. For softness, we give it a score of 4.7 out of 5. This yarn is mostly made of Ovis Ultimate Merino. What is that? It's described to have the hand of cashmere and the wear of merino. Yeah, we didn't really believe that from the skein. It did seem to soften up more when working with it and even more so after blocking. No, it wasn't irritating by any means, but also not as soft as cashmere in my opinion. For comparison, it is softer than Cascade Yarn's 220 Superwash Merino and not quite as soft as Knitting for Olive compatible cashmere. I'd say it's pretty comparable to Knit Pick Stroll. For a micron count or softness scale rating, Woolfolk suggests it has a 17.5 micron count, which the smaller the micron count, typically the softer the yarn will be. Merinos average around a 21, and some of the softness we felt have been a 20, so I think a 17.5 is a little, I don't want to say outrageous, but it kind of seems like an outlier. For durability, we give it a score of 4 out of 5. Often softer yarns don't hold up well to wear and tear and are prone to pilling due to their short fiber length. Because merino wool fibers are more fine, it is a little delicate on its own. We have noticed that merino yarns seem to pill the most, and this one actually surprised us. When it came to the stress test, we noticed our swatch, well, not really having much pilling at all, which is amazing considering how soft it is. We really try our hardest to bring out as much pilling as possible for you to really get the best idea of how much your project made with this yarn could pill, but this one just didn't have that much. When it comes to care, it's recommended for you to hand wash in cool water and lay it flat to dry as it's not superwash treated and could felt if agitated. For cost, we give it a score of 2 out of 5. For being a 50-gram skein, you can expect to pay $22 US per skein. That breaks down to about 13 cents per yard, meaning a size medium sweater quantity would cost approximately $176. Overall, we give Woolfolk Fleck a score of 3.55 out of 5. This yarn caught my eye from across the room in a yarn shop. I didn't know what I would make with it, and the price tag sure made me hesitant to get a project's amount too, but I'm happy that we got to review it. It was a nice yarn with some unique stitch definition, but I'm just not quite sure if I can justify the price, but we do really appreciate their ethical and sustainable milling practices. Have you used Woolfolk Fleck yarn before? What yarn would you like for us to do a review on next? We would love to hear your thoughts and recommendations in the comments below. And if you enjoyed today's review, please give this video a like, subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time.